like my cup is so cute. On today's episode of Breaking My Silence and Spilling the Tea. Hey, what up y'all? It's Rnjanya. Hold on. Okay. Hey, what up y'all? It's Rnjanya. Today is the day that I finally debrief about my entire study abroad trip. I know y'all are like, girl, it's a long time coming, but yeah, I've been working on it. Don't even worry about it. I don't know. I did a study abroad program in Paris for 9 weeks through my school, the University of Chicago, and I was taking courses for the civilizations requirement. We were studying European civilizations, so that's why I was in Paris. And I think a good first thing to start off with, okay, here we go. So I have a list of things here. Y'all, it's been a trip. The first thing I want to touch on is why study abroad. So first of all, y'all, I've literally been wanting to go to Paris, France for a long time. Like, I started doing French in high school, and I don't know, I just always saw myself going to Paris. Like, it was just something that was going to happen. Besides that though, I've always known that I wanted to go abroad in college because I knew it was just so important to go out, see the world, you know, venture out, be an explorer. It's better to do it in this part of your life where you have more support financially, or, you know, hopefully with like schooling, and it's sponsored by the school, so a lot of things are already built in for you, like where you should stay, how much you pay, just a bit more structured. So I was like, oh, if it's gonna be anytime, it's gonna be in college. And I was fortunate enough that it happened in my first year of college, well, summer of my first year, because I got to start my college experience off the right way. So the reason that I wanted to do study abroad was to see more of the world, practice my French, and, you know, knock some courses out the way. Because if y'all watch my Q&A, go watch that. That was actually filmed in Paris. I had a couple questions about study abroad anyways, so I answered some of those there. I'll try not to like double dip or, you know, say things I already said. In that video, I did mention how it felt easier to do courses abroad than at school because you're just focusing on the courses and you're also in a new city, so everything just feels so bright and new, and like you're not really stressed. I mean, at least that's the vibe that I got. So, you know, I was definitely allured to the idea of studying abroad, especially in Paris. So I am pre-med and also studying neuroscience, so kind of in the STEM field, and with that it can be harder to kind of structure your classes. So I wanted to make sure that I gave myself the most leeway as possible. So through taking courses, you know, abroad and also in the summer, because, you know, technically summer school, I gave myself more space in my schedule to do the things that I want, you know, move things around and things like that. So that's another perk of, y'all know how I feel about this. That's another perk of studying abroad. That was a long intro. This is gonna be so disorganized, but everything on here is gonna get touched because y'all gonna know what the deal is. So I'm gonna start with money because, you know, a lot of people are like, girl, like, how are y'all having y'all European summer? Like, what are y'all doing? Where's the money coming from? I'm gonna preface this is not everyone's situation. I personally receive aid from my college, so if I were to apply to any program, they would be most likely to cover everything. You know, speaking that way, it's gonna be different costs for the program. I will touch on, you know, what I actually spent while I was in the city and stuff like that, but I will give y'all some advice because I was a little bit bamboozled, just a little bit. When you apply for aid, like, the school tells you when you get accepted for it. They don't tell you, at least my school, they didn't tell us when to expect to receive the aid until, you know, a little while later. By that point, I think like a month had gone by, which is not a lot in theory, but with international flights, that price is always going up, you know what I mean? Just something to know, like, if you get accepted to a program and you know you're going, buy that ticket ASAP. Like, as soon as you get that acceptance letter, you might as well buy that ticket. Like, whenever you know the dates that you have to be there, like, get your ticket as soon as you can, because those prices are only gonna go up, and, you know, they're not really gonna fluctuate much. So that's definitely a pro tip. And also, I do acknowledge this is not everyone's situation. Not everybody is able to just buy a plane ticket. If that is something that is concerning you, definitely talk to your financial aid officer or advisor about it, because, girl, you know, these schools got money. So whatever you need, you know, voice your concerns. That's number one. Voice your concerns, communicate what you need, and express when you need more help or when you need more assistance, because that will help you long term. That was just my pro tip on our intro into money. So I didn't really crunch all the numbers, but I pretty much know what I spent. So I was given $3,000 per. So while I was in Paris, y'all, I kid you not, I probably spent like 1K in my first like week or two there. Really just like food, like little expenses here and there, like stuff just add up. So it wasn't really until the 3rd or 4th week of the program where I was like, all right girl, like we need to start going to the grocery store, like we need to start budgeting. So I know y'all hear from everybody budget. And I've also spoke on this in a lot of my other past videos, but like budgeting doesn't have to be limited. Like it can give you more to spend. That's literally the purpose of budgeting. Don't think of budget as like holding you back. Like it's something that's keeping you up for real. So definitely go grocery shopping and try to find like the cheaper stores, because not every grocery store is like cheap. Like you can't just go to a grocery store and think it's gonna be cheaper than buying out. I mean, you know, most times that is the case, but try to find, wherever you're studying abroad, try to find like cheaper markets to go get your produce, go get your foods, and you know, make it make sense. When you buy stuff, don't just go out and buy snacks. Like buy actual stuff that you can cook, make a meal, and you know, subsist off of for at least a week until you gotta go again, because that's what I ended up doing. And that's how y'all got self-care Saturdays, because I wanted to have a routine with like going to the grocery store and getting food, so that, you know, during the week I didn't have to consistently be like, where am I gonna go out to eat, where am I going, you know, I just had foods. Pro tip: budget for groceries, budget for going out. Just make sure that you understand how much you want to be paying every week, because like I said, it adds up. So I didn't actually like crunch numbers and make a budget sheet. Like that might help some people, but I just kind of kept it in my mind, you know, how much I'm spending each week, where I want to spend my money. So definitely go grocery shopping for real. Okay, so I told y'all I got 3,000. Where did that money go? It was all gone. Luckily, you know, your girl got her money up. Spending extra money wasn't an issue for me, luckily. But say after the 3,000 had ran out, which was probably like prior to my last week or maybe 2 weeks before I left. So after that, I ended up spending probably 500 more. I really don't know, but it was nothing crazy. If I had to guess how much I spent total in Paris, it might be somewhere around 3,000, 4,000, maybe 5,000. I would say 5,000 is the max though. And that sounds like a lot of money. It does. If you ask for help, or if you have a job, or if you save up money, like it can be very manageable. And especially if you budget, you don't even have to spend that much. I'm pretty sure if I budgeted from day one, I probably wouldn't even have spent all that money they gave me. Like it's really about, you know, knowing where your money is going and being conscious about it. Well, that is money. I hope I covered most things. You know what, I'm just gonna add some extra details in case y'all were curious. I actually didn't even use my physical card, like debit card or nothing. Like there's Apple Pay everywhere in Paris, so girl, this phone was flexible. Also had some euros, so that's another thing. Let me be for real. I went to the airport. I did the exchange there. Everybody tells you don't do it there, but I don't think y'all came to Atlanta, girl. The money exchanges here are sus. Like everywhere you go, it just looked like you should not be going in that building. Like we was not going to exchange money here, so I was like, you know what, we gonna just pay that extra fee and do it at the airport. So got about, I would say 300 to 400 euros at the airport. I was pretty good about budgeting that too. Like I only took out a cup, like I only brought probably like 20 or 30 with me wherever I went, because you really shouldn't even carry that much money on you. That's another thing. You attention a bit bucket, like they will really get you. That is something that needs to be wary of when you're going out. That is also a good segue to my next section, which is security and safety. Y'all should know this just by common sense, but be aware of yourself when you're going out. Don't just be lollygagging. Like I think I kind of overdo it, and that's why I never got robbed. Thank you. That's why I never got robbed while I was in Paris, at least to my knowledge. Maybe they's that good and I didn't even realize, but I move quickly wherever I'm going. And it's also because like I'm a woman, I'm alone in a new city, you know, language barrier, you know, there's a lot going on. So I can't just be, you know, cruising around here and not being aware of my surroundings. So with security and safety, like, you know, just that basic element of knowing what's going on around you. Other than that, at least Paris, I felt very safe going around. I didn't really go out at night, but I've heard from a lot of people, like as long as you have a group of people with you, like it's safe, you feel cool, like it's whatever. In terms of safety and security, that way you're gonna be straight. And that's another thing, if you're ever more likely to get robbed, I don't know the statistics on this, I feel like it's most times gonna be transportation, which is my next segment. You know, there's a lot of people, it's all come and go, like somebody's passing by you. It's just a very easy place to get snatched up. On transportation, you know, just keep your bag close to you, or keep a small bag. Make it make sense, you know, if you have a tote bag, like close the opening up, do what you gotta do. I actually really miss transportation in Paris. It was so easy, so accessible. Like, you could go anywhere. It's probably gonna take you like 15 to 20, 35 minutes to get to a random spot in the city from where you're at, and that's fine, you know. Once you get that card, it's good to go. But that's another thing, in terms of money, there may be extra expenses that you didn't think about. Like for us, I had to pay for our own food, and our transit cards and our transit card values. The food was obviously mentioned before. Like, I mean, I, you know, read everything before I went to Paris, but you have to pay for your own food. There's no like free dining hall, you know. So I found other avenues, but so yeah, all in all, transportation was great. I didn't experience anything crazy. Y'all know if y'all go in the US transportation, like y'all gonna see some questionable folk on that train most likely, but I don't know, in Paris it was very chill. It was your everyday people, you know, nobody really cut up. That's another thing in Paris that I'm really not sad about, but I just noticed they don't cut up like we do in America. Like, French people actually do have class, like that is a fact. Neither here nor there. Another thing to talk about is the language barrier. So I mentioned how earlier that I learned French. Honestly, I would feel very scared initially coming to another country not knowing the language, but with our program at least, we are required to take a language class based on our competency levels. So that was very helpful, just keeping you refreshed on the terms, and you can ask questions about how to ask certain things. It was a very helpful supplement to our experience. Say if you don't have that, you know, maybe do an online language course, or like make friends that speak the language, because y'all should know that, or no, that's kind of rude. The human body is wired for connection. So if you make a friend and you're trying to communicate with them and you don't speak the language, you're going to try 10 times harder to learn it and understand and be able to communicate. So there's a couple of things you can do to learn the language of a new place, but for us that was something that we had. But I would say do not limit yourself from going somewhere because you don't know the language. That's like, if that is like really anxiety inducing for you, by all means, like skip out. But literally, like, you can see so much of the world without even speaking the language. Like, you know, there you can learn sign language. I mean, that's extreme, but there's a lot of different ways to communicate without having to speak the same language, and I just feel like there's so much of the world to see. So don't limit yourself just because of a language barrier. There's ways to get over it, under it, around it, through it, everything. So now let's transition into the actual like study abroad portion. Studying abroad, I want to talk about time management because that can be something that is very troubling, and I did touch on this in my Q&A, so I don't want to repeat myself. I would say there's so much time to do what you want to do, at least with a summer program that lasts 9 weeks. Like, I knew people that were going places every weekend, people that were hitting up new countries, new cities, and I'm not sure the expenses for all that. I'm sure that's obviously more, but it's still a good experience to add to being abroad anyways, because you're already in Europe, and things have changed now after the pandemic with pricing. Like, if you watch videos from years ago about studying abroad in Paris or in Europe, people will tell you it's so easy to get around to different countries and cheap. I will say it's not necessarily cheap and how we would think about it, but it's definitely reduced, like compared to flying to America to Spain, or from America to Italy or whatever. Like, it's definitely cheaper, but it's not cheap. Why? That's something that it's not why I didn't do it, but I didn't have an interest to while I was there. That might be something I do if I go again, to go to other countries, but that is something that is doable if you want to enhance your experience by going to other countries. But let me bring it back to time management. So I'm basically saying, like, there is time to do the things you want to do. At least with our program, we only had class about 3 hours a day maybe, and sometimes we wouldn't have class, you know, just random. As long as you prioritize your schoolwork, get that out the way so you can do what you got to do in the city, like, it's basically like being a student anywhere else, you know. It's just time management, you know, do your priorities, get what needs to get done so you can go party, have fun, like, do what you got to do. With studying abroad, I want to talk about classes, you know, the student part, student abroad. Hold on y'all. Okay, we back. I want to talk about classes. This is obviously going to differ for everybody, but for this program, like I said, we have classes 3 hours a day, usually 2 hours for our main class, our civ class, and then an hour for French. So in terms of difficulty, obviously the French is based on your level, so it shouldn't be too difficult or too easy. For me, that was, I guess, definitely the case. My civ class, I think the difficulty of the class, it definitely varied by professor because, like I said, it's a 9-week portion program, so we had 3 weeks for each course. So we had 3 different professors. The ease of the class relies on how much your teacher caters to your learning experience and how willing they are to extend grace, because I feel like teachers who aren't gracious, y'all know about them, and they will really impact your grade if you don't do exactly what they want, exactly how they want it. Just go in, try your best. If you have issues, communicate them. If y'all watch my vlogs, y'all know that's what I was doing with each and every professor. So definitely communicate your needs, your wants, your experience, whatever. Other than that, I feel like if you do all of those things, you know, try your best, communicate your needs, and prioritize your schoolwork, you're gonna get a period. I mean, I can't promise everything, y'all know teachers be playing, but definitely just stay on your Zoom, do what you gotta do, stay on time, stay prepared, and you know, it's gonna work out for you. Classes were definitely not the hardest part of the study abroad. I mean, I'm saying that like I'm gonna say something else was, but don't worry about it too much, because I definitely did. I was like, girl, y'all gonna take up all my time while I'm in Paris? Like, don't do that. But I had plenty of time to go try new vegan restaurants, go explore the city, you know, do my content. Like, there's time. There's definitely time. I didn't really care to talk about this, but I seen it as like a big thing, making friends. I think just based on my personality, I don't worry about it too much, because like I feel like I'm very personable, you know, people, I attract the right people, you know, whoever wants to be my friend, it will be my friend. I'm cool, I kick it. In a new city though, like in terms of like going out of the city and like talking to people, making new friends, I know I suggested to do that if you have a language barrier, but that can even be hard too. So I would say in terms of making friends, definitely just get real on what your expectations are, because there's going to be a lot of people that you could be friends with. I mean, there is just a lot of people in the world in general, but you have to make sure you're intent on who you want to be around, who you want to stay around, who you want to talk to, because once those opportunities arise, like you got to have a checklist, and if they don't fit that checklist, they can't get in your section, period. I would say when it comes to friends, you know, just, you know what type of people you want around you, be the type of person that someone will want to be friends with, that you want to attract, like, you know, make things align for you in that regard, and I feel like you'll be fine. You'll literally be fine. Like, that sounds like the worst way to like reassure somebody, but I really don't think friends is the hardest part about being in a new country. And this is just a side note, but when I was accepted to the program, I'm telling everybody, they're like, oh, do you have any other friends going? And like, that was the one thing everybody kept saying, and I don't know why. It didn't get on my nerves, but I was kind of just like, why is that important? I mean, I don't care if there was no one on the program I knew, I still would have kicked it and had a good time. I don't know, I guess like maybe they were trying to be nice and I was just doing too much, but my big thing is independence. Like, you can just strike out and be your own person. Like, you don't need people that you know to help you. Like, you are your own person, you gonna get it done. Like, that's just how I operate. But friends are everywhere, you just gotta make them. All right, another thing that I want to talk about is just food. So I always preface, like, I'm vegan, so my experience with food is going to be different than most people's experience of food. So when it came to places I wanted to eat at, I made a guide. This is actually a really good pro tip. So if y'all go on Apple Maps, maybe Google Maps got something like this, I don't know, y'all be hyping up Google Maps, but I don't know if they're doing it like this. I already have guides for Atlanta, Chicago, and Paris, but when you have a guide, you can just add places on the map from Google or Apple, and then it will literally pop up as places to go on your map. Like, this is literally a pro tip. I would say do that. Cater it to your needs. So this is actually the most important thing to me personally when preparing for a study abroad trip, because I made sure to get this done before I left, because once you're somewhere, you know, you have all these ideas of where you want to go, like, unless you have a list, or like you just like, unless you're just good like that, it's probably not gonna happen. Everything on that list is probably not gonna happen. So I definitely made sure to make a guide with the top places that I wanted to go. You know, if I was bored or I don't know what to do, I just took a look. I was like, where can I go? Or if you're already out in the city, and maybe let's say you go somewhere and, you know, it's closed or it doesn't work out, you know, pull up that guide, it'll show you somewhere close on your guide, and you can literally just go there. So definitely make one of these. Even if you're just visiting a new city, you don't even have to be studying abroad. Like, these are really helpful when you plan a trip. Like, just knowing the places you could go is a really good place to start. And like I said, you can cater it to your needs. For me, I really wanted to test out what the vegan scene was like there, and also, like, I am vegan, I have to eat, so I made sure to add a lot of vegan restaurants to try. I also added places I wanted to go, places I wanted to take pictures, like, just to tailor it to your needs. Let's say you're really into art or architecture, you can add museums or like certain monuments to go look at. Like, just literally cater it to your needs, and you will have the best time. You will do everything you want to do, I promise. Oh, so on that front, I'm gonna recommend you guys some places to go in Paris. So definitely the Eiffel Tower. Your girl is beautiful. Daytime, nighttime, ultra nighttime at 1 a.m. Like, she is gorgeous, and she's gonna continue to shine. I know that's the most basic place to go in Paris, but like, I really, honestly, it was one of my favorite places to go, like, literally. But I didn't go that often, but when I went, like, it was an experience. There's a lot of monuments in Paris that are like famous and popular to go to. The Louvre is cute to take pictures outside of. Inside, I just saw the Mona Lisa. She was cute doing her thing, you know. I don't know, like I said, it really depends on what your interests are, because I'm not really interested in like museums, don't really pay attention too much to like art detail. I do when I'm in front of it, duh, but like I don't seek out those things. So we did a lot of that in Paris because, you know, that's kind of all there is to do. So I'm not really gonna recommend things like that because I'm not that interested in it. I'm sorry. So definitely hit up the Eiffel Tower, take some cute pics. The Louvre, take some pics, cute. I will recommend you guys to my favorite place to watch the Eiffel Tower. It's called Porte de Bali. Nobody's ever there. It's like never crowded. Depending on when you go to Paris, that might matter more. I was there the whole summer, and every time I went to the port it wasn't crowded, and I would think that summer is the most popular time for Paris. Maybe it's fall, I actually don't know, but this was my favorite place to go. You have the perfect view of the tower, you have a bridge, people are selling the little lock things, like it's just cute. So definitely head over there if you're looking for something like that. My favorite food place was this place. It actually has vegan and regular stuff, so maybe the regular stuff hit into. It's called Vapiano's. It's super good. Like I had their vegan chicken alfredo. Y'all, I swear I probably had it like 5 times. Like y'all need to go tap in with this place. I think they have it in America too, if I'm not mistaken. I think I had like seen it somewhere and was like, bro, that was in Paris. I don't know, I could be lying. Definitely head there. I don't know, honestly, like if y'all want to see more places, I have a lot of food reels on my Instagram. I know that's random, but I post a lot about the places that I went in Paris there, so definitely check that out. Kind of on the last front of like study abroad things before I tell y'all about the random things I learned, the regular lessons learned, you know, the friends we made along the way, like all of that. One big lesson I learned is like how independent I am and how much confidence I should have in myself when it comes to just navigating the world, because I don't know, I'm just so proud of myself. Like I literally went to Paris and I just like leveled up on my content, my schoolwork, my social life, everything just kind of went up, and I just feel like I had a really good experience in Paris. Like my friend asked me like, you know, do you feel like a changed person while we were in Paris? And I'm like, the whole time I do. Like I really am that girl. Like really did change me. So I definitely learned that lesson about myself. Lesson about others. I learned that, you know, people can be closed-minded. Being in another country, other people, I think it's because I'm coming from America. You know, America, land of the free, home of the brave. Like freedom is the name of the game. So when we go somewhere that's kind of not America and it's not the same spirit, y'all don't get the wrong idea about me, you know. That kind of sounds crazy, but you go somewhere else and it's just not the US, like you're gonna be shocked about the different attitudes, the different mindsets that people have. Definitely just kind of keep an open mind, and you know, if somebody has a a more closed mind, don't be shocked. I don't know, I just feel like you're a guest in the country, you know, don't judge too much. Like you're here as a visitor. And my last lesson learned is that it doesn't matter where you are, like life is always gonna life, you know what I mean? You're always gonna be you unless you take steps to change. You're always gonna have, hopefully, your support system. You know, there's some positives to, you know, life is always gonna life. You're just in a new place and you're just around different things. And I'm a firm believer of like moving and like changing your scenery, because the place where you live determines a whole lot about you. Like place where you live is really one of the most important things ever. Another lesson I learned is just, you know, see the world more. Like there's just so much to see. And honestly, y'all, if y'all are thinking about planning a trip to Paris, you can low-key hit Paris in like 3 days, depending on what you want to see. I don't want to say there's not that much to the city, but like you do not need a full summer to get the best bang for your buck when visiting the city. Like you simply do not. There was so many days where I literally just chilled in the house and I really didn't feel like I was wasting no time. Like yeah, you can hit that city 3 days if you really want to enjoy it. I would say a week, maybe 2 weeks max, but like you don't need that much time to hit this city. Now I'm gonna get to things I noted about Paris. This is just things that I literally noted while I was there. Like I just saw it and was like, oh my god. So the first thing, y'all saw this in my vlogs and I'm so sad about it. The musty smell and like cigarettes. Like y'all could have guessed the cigarettes, but the musty smell caught me off guard, y'all. Like I literally was like I was literally gagged, like so bad. I was like, what is going on? There's really not much I can tell y'all to negate that, because if that's always gonna be a thing, like I don't know, put an air freshener in your nose, like girl, I don't know. There was nothing you could do. You just had to get used to it, and I'm really sad to say that I got used to that scent, but that's exactly what happened. So Anyways, that was the first thing that I noted about Paris. The second thing, which is very different from the first thing, Paris has a lot of beautiful gardens, so much. Like, if you just want to go read a book, do your homework, there's so many outdoor spaces, which I really love about a city. Go and just smell the fresh air, relax, like actually fresh air, and you know, just chill. So people can be rude. I know y'all heard like the French people, and a lot of them live up to it. And you know, I talked to my language assistant about it, and he said that it's due to like passion, which I agree with, but also that also kind of sounds like an excuse, like, oh, I'm just mean to you because I'm passionate, and when I express my emotions, I express them. Like, you're a grown adult, you can control your emotions, you can, you know, talk to somebody with a level head. And I just feel like, I don't know if French people didn't get the memo or like what happened, but you know, I've seen my fair share of them getting riled up. And y'all know me, I'm a sweetheart. If somebody is getting mad at me, like, it's really not about me. Like, this is just pure empirical observation. Like, I've never like enticed nobody to be rude to me. Like, if it ever happened, it's just the French people being French people. I don't know. This is one thing I noted. Y'all, it's not funny at all, but like, I wrote down homeless people are very direct. Y'all know in America, you know, if you see someone who's homeless, usually they are in their living space, they're kind of reserved, they're not really like in your face. No, the French homeless people, girl, they will walk up to you on euro, like for bread, like they will ask you like for money just right there and there. I mean, I'm not saying this is a general standard, but this is what I've experienced every single time and time again. Like, I don't know if I just look targetable, but like so many people have asked me like for money there, so I just feel like they're a bit more direct there, and that was just something I was like not used to. Another thing is work ethic. So this is kind of situational. Like, I would say this applies more to restaurant jobs, but to be honest, you're consistently at a restaurant in Paris. Like, what is there to do? You sit in a cafe. We be like, what is there to do? So the waiters, most of your money that you pay, everything is included in your pay. So like, that goes for grocery shopping, or you know, when you're ordering food, the tip is included. So that affects service, at least I feel like, in my opinion. So when something goes wrong, they're less accommodating. I want to say less accommodating, but you know, they're not reliant on their good service to get tipped. They're getting tipped anyway. So I feel like that work ethic is different. And with like, service is a little different in general. If you want the bill, y'all really gotta be like y'all really gotta ask them, because I don't know if that's just customary, like they don't want to like rush you or whatever, but yeah. This is something I've been hearing from our program coordinators about Paris. They said that shouldn't go to the suburbs because it's kind of the opposite, where like in America you would think that cities are more unsafe than the suburbs, but I think in France or in Paris it's different, where the suburbs are more dangerous than the inner city. So I've probably been in the suburbs. I didn't intentionally go there, but like I haven't really experienced stigma or that kind of like presupposition. So I guess that's just another thing to note. Well, the business hours there are really weird. Like, most places close for lunch, I guess. Well, not lunch, I don't know, they just close from like 2 p.m. to like 6 until they open for dinner again. So like, there's less 24-hour things there than America. Places stay open late, but not like too late, but it's kind of a hit, like pick and choose. Like, what I've noticed is that most businesses will open for like breakfast and brunch, they'll close like 2 or 3, and then you'll have to wait, like I said, until like 6 or 7 till they open again for dinner. So if you're planning to eat anytime between like 3 and 6, you better find a restaurant that is open during those times. It's just kind of how it is. Oh, this is so funny, y'all. I said the lack of beaches really throws me off. Like, y'all, I packed like 2 or 3 different swimsuits. Like, your girl thought she was swimming. I don't know if I just didn't look at the map, but like, if you want to go to water, you have to go to like the north, the south of France, the west of France. Like, you have to go by the actual sea. Like, there's not really just gonna be a beach. Like, I don't know. I think growing up around the Great Lakes got me spoiled. Oh, another thing is the clean girl aesthetic. The clean girl aesthetic, they be having that hair slick back. They got that same color jewelry in just one color. I'm low-key giving it right now. Like, hold on, I'm describing myself. But yeah, the French girls really got the clean girl aesthetic. I like that. And the last thing is, people would literally be on the street selling corn in a cart. I literally put like the emojis because I was like, girl, what's going on? Like, every single day outside of my dorm, like, people just selling corn. Like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if that's a thing, but that was something that I noticed. I think that's basically it for my little iPhone notes. I think I'm just gonna freestyle now. Like I said, y'all, Paris really changed me. Me in Paris was like this. I enjoyed exploring the city. I enjoyed seeing the people. I enjoyed meeting the people in my group. I guess this kind of goes back under making friends, but like the people that I took the courses with, like I feel like I wouldn't have met them anywhere else. So it was just nice to kind of meet people out of my comfort zone, and like really just people that, you know, I'll see on campus and be like, yo, what's up, or like plan something with. Like that was really nice for me. And then I learned more about living alone. Y'all saw I upped my cooking game, my grocery game, my going out game. Like I don't know, that just taught me more about how to be on your own in general. And then more more brownie points, more cookie points, girl, more brownie points for being in a new country. So definitely that. I guess one thing that I could have got better on but was also harder is like communicating with people back home because of the time difference. Girl, it was 9 hours. Like that's low-key insane. So I mean, I need to do better with that anyways, like in the States. But like that was another thing I noticed. I was just like, you know, I'm gonna talk to you when I talk to you. I don't know, I'm out here living life. I'm just really happy about where my life is, you know, coming back from Paris, where I'm gonna go, my plans now. Like I'm just really excited about these next couple things that I got going on. In terms of my next content that y'all are gonna see from me, I think my next video after this will be my start with my school content. I'm very excited for that because I don't know, it's just I feel like I really been given a chance to start over with it because I wanted to do it last year like I told y'all, but I was just so wrapped up. So I feel like it's just gonna be so fun and so different to try to navigate that space, especially now that I have all this equipment and I'm gonna have more people to be around who want to be in my videos to do it. Yeah, I'm just really excited for where I'm headed, and you know, life is good. What I mean, like life is good. Anyways, I literally love y'all so much. Thank y'all for staying tuned. Y'all have been supporting me, liking, comment, subscribing, all of it. I usually don't even say to do that, but it's been happening, so thank y'all. But anyways, bye. Stay tuned for the next one.